Hello, welcome everyone to our virtual fireside chat. We are so pleased to have alumni and friends from near and far join Northeastern Illinois University this evening for a chance to hear from President Gibson, Provost Rome, and our outstanding student, Absmara Ulloa. I'm Liesl Downey, Vice President for Institutional Advancement and Executive Director of the NEIU Foundation, and our goal with this program is to provide you with a window into Northeastern right now and our direction for the future. Even while we're working and living remotely, it's important that we find ways to stay connected and continue to dialogue with each other. And I want to thank Lisa Domkowski, our Director of Individual Giving. She will moderate our Q&A later on, for putting this program together along with our colleagues in advancement, marketing, and university technology services. This webinar is being recorded, and so you're welcome to revisit afterward. We have about 45 minutes together, and I want to bring your attention to the Q&A feature that is on, so please feel free to write in your questions for our panelists. You can also upvote your questions and raise them higher on the list. We may not get to all questions, or you may have those that occur afterward, so we will certainly circle back with you, and of course, we'll be eager to hear your thoughts and comments. And now, for those of you who have not been back to Northeastern in a little while, we have a short video of the university through the years. You may remember some places and faces, and you may be surprised to see what's new at NEIU. Please enjoy. Again, I hope you enjoyed our video retrospective. So now let's go ahead and talk about NEIU today. With that in mind, I am pleased to introduce President Gloria J. Gibson. Dr. Gibson has led Northeastern as our president since June of 2018. After a national search, she came to NEIU from her prior role as provost of Morgan State University in Baltimore. Her PhD is from Indiana University in folklore with a concentration in ethnomusicology. Dr. Gibson is, of course, our chief cheerleader and our chief advocate, and she is focused on equity, inclusivity, and support for our diverse student body. So tonight, in the spirit of the FDR Fireside Chat, Dr. Gibson will share with you a mini state of the university, and later she'll offer a few ways that you can be involved with NEIU. Please welcome President Gloria J. Gibson.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Greetings, everyone. It is so good to be with you this evening. I say this often, but it certainly bears repeating. It is my great, great pleasure to serve Northeastern Illinois University as your president and to serve our many students, faculty, staff, and alumni. I hope that you and your families are well and that you continue to stay safe during this time. I miss being able to greet you in person, and I certainly look forward to the time when we can be together again. I want to give a special welcome to our 1970 alumni, including those who have already reached the milestone of being golden alumni, having graduated 50 or more years ago. One of our alumni from the class of 1972 was kind enough to send a special e-invite to her fellow 1970 alumni, encouraging them to attend. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you all. Without question, this has been a challenging year. It has been a challenging time for us all. I imagine that each of you have made sacrifices to keep each other safe during the pandemic. As a Hispanic serving and minority serving institution, nearly 70% of our 7,000 plus students are non-white, and we understand how the pandemic has disproportionately affected our nation's Black and Brown populations. Northeastern's focus is providing access to an excellent education for all students. Alumni with us this evening may relate to our students' current situation, many of whom college was not an inevitable pathway for them. Our students are often the first of their families to attend university. They may work 1, 2, sometimes even 3 jobs to support themselves and their families while attending class. Many are immigrants or children of immigrants for whom challenges may be compounded. I want to assure you that no matter what, we are focused on student success, and our commitment is as strong as ever. I want to highlight just a few of those strengths now. For 7 years in a row, Northeastern has remained the best in the state and among the nation's leaders in graduating students with the least amount of debt. And we are very proud of that. We are recognized by the Wall Street Journal as the most diverse public comprehensive university in the Midwest. We welcome, accept, respect, and embrace our differences because diversity and equity are important, and they are both at the core of what we do. We are recognized for our ability to move graduates up the socioeconomic ladder. With an NEIU degree, our graduates improve their lives, their families' lives, and in turn, their communities, our communities, the state, and the world. This moves the needle in the right direction. Finally, Northeastern is a very safe campus. In fact, we are recognized as the third safest campus in the nation. So now, how has COVID affected NEIU? Over the last year, perhaps the most heartbreaking development was with students who suffered a financial hit as they lost their jobs or their family members lost their jobs, putting our students' ability to pursue their academic goals in peril. The first and second installments of the federal CARES relief produced direct support to students, and that has been so critical for our students. Even with this, however, they are still experiencing losses. How can you think about classes when you have financial challenges? To address this, we asked for private support for the Foundation's Student Emergency Fund. Since last March, we have awarded $145,000 in small grants to nearly 500 students to help with rent, medical expenses, groceries, and just basic needs. And just yesterday, we were able to provide emergency support to 2 students who lost everything they had in a fire. These private dollars are available to all students, including those who are undocumented. And I want to thank each and every one of you who have contributed to that fund. We've also organized food drives to support our student food pantry. We partnered with the community to create nearly 6,000 face masks and shields with our art and design department's 3D printers. These are just a few examples, and there are many more. The bottom line is that we are invested in keeping our community safe and healthy. Earlier this month, we rolled out rapid testing in partnership with the University of Illinois and the governor's office. Right now, we are exploring a partnership to offer vaccinations on campus in the very near future. Through it all, NEIU's conservative approach has meant that we have kept positive cases on campus very low. Precautions will continue through fall 2021, and our provost will discuss what's in store for this fall. I want to take just a moment to acknowledge the national reckoning that we are now dealing with, and certainly with the issue of racial injustice. As a country, we continue to witness sad reminders. As a university, we know more must be done to address and eliminate racism in all its forms. When the death of George Floyd sparked national outrage, we joined universities across the country in creating a scholarship in his name. The George Floyd Social Justice Scholarship at NEIU supports students dedicated to future leadership in the multifaceted and intersectional work of social justice. And I must say, we have 3 young awardees this year, and I am very proud of those young men. We also established the Social Justice Leadership Housing Award. Now, 35 students live in our residence hall, the Nest, free as they build skills and leadership that will positively impact their university, our university, their careers, and our communities. More students will come this fall, and I am very proud of our students who are in that program. Our continuing and firm belief is that higher education is a matter of social justice, and higher education should be an opportunity for all students. Just want to give you a little update on our budget and enrollment. We continue to navigate challenges with our budget. State support has declined from a high point in 2012. Now 60% of our budget comes from tuition, with 40% coming from the state. You may recall that all Illinois public universities, including Northeastern, endured the state's budget impasse in 2016 and 17. This still impacts our bottom line. We work hard to minimize costs to our students while examining where we can find efficiencies. Enrollment is absolutely critical. When COVID arrived, summer and fall enrollment plummeted, but through a combination of hard work and creativity, we came back. We continue to address recruitment through a number of initiatives. And just a few of them are the Come Home to NEIU initiative. This is debt forgiveness that allows and allowed this year over 50 students to re-enroll and to continue to pursue their degrees. This debt forgiveness program will continue, and we hope to have many more students in the fall of 2021. We leveraged faculty, staff, and especially our current students to reach out personally to prospective students. Last fall, we removed the standardized test score requirement from the undergraduate application, a practice that is now permanent. We've upgraded our technology to meet the needs of our faculty, staff, and to understand where our students are so that we can respond to their requests. We've also invested in marketing and have introduced our new Breaking Barriers campaign. Breaking barriers is not just a call to action. It is what we do here at Northeastern. Soon, we will have details on the Federal American Rescue Plan that will infuse additional dollars, which we will leverage to the best use in the months ahead. So, looking forward, when I say that Northeastern inspires me and that we rise to the occasion, that is what I mean. And we will continue to rise to the occasion. So let's just take a minute to look at the future. I envision a future in which our students are not worried about insecurities of food or housing. They are confident that they can balance their jobs, families, and coursework because they know that we all are right here to support them. At the state level, our work is amplified at the Illinois Board of Higher Education's new strategic plan, which emphasizes closing the equity gap. Our intentional support for our diverse students is paying off as retention rates climb, especially for our Hispanic and African American students. We will build a one-stop shop for student success that I envision as the only place you need to know for incoming freshmen and transfers where they can get all of their questions answered. The center will break those barriers to higher education. For more than a decade, as some of you know, we have pursued a new education building. Now we are closer than ever. The state's Capital Development Board is reviewing construction documents as we speak. Golden Eagles, we are ready for our new education building. So please, please, please stay tuned for that very important announcement. We will continue to build connections between curriculum, careers, and the needs of our state. You see, NEIU's degree will help build that pathway to a career, not just a job, but to a career. Someone who deeply understands this is our new Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students, Dr. Terry Mena. A first-generation college graduate himself, Dr. Mena will leverage his 20-plus years of experience to help guide all co-curricular aspects of our students' journey to a degree. We will work with you, our alumni and friends, to provide the critical internships, mentoring opportunities, and to illustrate to our students where an NEIU degree can take you in your life. I won't steal the provost's thunder about our new academic programs. Suffice it to say that we continue to generate graduates who become the backbone of our state, addressing workforce demands and building an equitable future. NEIU is woven into the fabric of the state of Illinois. Of our 87,000 alumni, it is significant that 77% of our graduates remain living and working in the state. This has strong implications for our role here at home in the state economy. I can assure you that when I share this with our elected officials and business leaders, I have their attention. Finally, I want to brag on you. Our alumni are professionals, academics, performers, civic and nonprofit leaders who continue to work and make a positive difference in the state of Illinois and beyond. We want you to be as proud of us as we are of you. Our volunteers and friends are networkers who understand the gem that Northeastern is. Here's what I want you to take away from this evening. We need you. We want you to stay in close contact with us. I'll share a few ways in which you can get involved just a little later. For now, if you ask us, has this pandemic stopped NEIU? Of course, it has not stopped us, and it will not stop us. The work is important, and the work continues. So now I want to introduce to you our Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Dennis Roan. He is a Chicago native, a graduate of Lane Tech, and his area of academic expertise is sociology. I knew when I chose him in 2019 to lead the most important division of NEIU that he was the right person for the job. Please welcome Dr. Provost Dennis Rohn.
Thank you, Madam President, for that very warm welcome. And hello, everyone. It's really good to be with you this evening. Over 150 years ago, Northeastern started out as the Chicago Normal School to increase the state's teacher workforce. Now we offer our 7,000 students more than 70 undergrad and grad programs in arts, sciences, education, and business. And our faculty encourage students to integrate classroom instruction with field-based learning, research, and service. An NEIU degree moves our graduates up the social economic ladder, improving their lives, their family lives, and our community. That's what it's all about. Access to high quality, low cost education. In my role, that is what we can and must continue to focus on. The president mentioned our students' challenges with the pandemic. In response to COVID, we moved 90% of our courses online last spring, and we're continuing remote learning through summer. As you can probably imagine, our students are COVID weary. They want to return to campus. This fall, that's exactly what we're going to do. With rapid testing, social distancing, and PPE, we're working to get back to campus safely in the fall of 2021. We continue to serve one of the most diverse student bodies in the country. We're closing the gap between graduation rates for Latinx, African American, and white students. While this is an ongoing process, both our Black and Latinx students have shown the highest retention rates in over a decade. This is in part thanks to our intentional push to connect students with success programs that focus on culturally relevant pedagogical approaches. Our highest enrolled programs today are computer science, psychology, social work, and accounting. You should also know that Northeastern is exceptionally strong in STEM. Our students have a history of coming home from national conferences with awards. That's because here, students can work on research directly with faculty, even at the undergraduate level. That's an advantage you don't usually see at bigger universities. We remain strong in teacher education, and in fact, enrollment in the Goodwin College is up 12%. With our diverse student body, Northeastern is directly addressing the statewide teaching shortage and the push for more teachers of color, as well as counselors and social workers. Our College of Business and Management earned AACSB accreditation in 2016. This is hugely important because it's a distinction earned by less than 5% of the world's 16,000 business programs. We are an elite business education institution. There's no better measure of quality or reputation in professional education than these types of specialized accreditation. And Northeastern has 7. Others are in counseling, educator preparation, social work, art and design, music, and rehabilitation education. So what's on the horizon? We're in a hyper-competitive marketplace, and new online and hybrid learning packages will help us attract students. To that end, I have challenged each college to develop a completely online degree. Our MBA is already fully online. Now, one of the most exciting programs under construction is in the online RN to BSN. Even before the pandemic, nurses were in high demand, especially those with diverse, multicultural, and multilingual backgrounds. With our student body and support programs, NEIU is in a strong position to address this need. We are now in the search process for founding director who will lead development and accreditation. We're also working towards NEIU's very first doctoral degree program and EDD in urban education. The Goodwin College is an award-winning pioneer for best practices in global diversity. The new EDD will focus not only on PK-12, but also professionals who want to work with higher ed, advocacy, foundations, nonprofits, and youth and community organizations. The Department of Computer Science has recently merged with the College of Business and Management. That's leading to really exciting new offerings like a digital marketing and finance track for the MBA, data analytics, forensic accounting, and finally, a cybersecurity bachelor's and master's program. We've got faculty who've been dying to do this, and now they got the green light. Finally, we are developing curriculum in historical, social, and political contexts. And lastly, we are looking to increase our capacity in our residence hall, the Nest, with new living and learning communities. These provide themes for students groups to pique interest in living on campus, a proven retention best practice, and even taking classes in the residence in the Nest, for example. We began the Social Justice Leadership Program last summer. Now, new living learning communities are being created, and some topics include STEM, elementary education, and honors, for example. So these are some big picture highlights and some specific new programs. I want to conclude my remarks by echoing the president's emphasis on the importance of engaging our alumni and friends in these conversations. We want you to understand where NEIU is today, to feel pride in the university's work, and to stay connected with us. I look forward to your questions later on in the program and staying in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Provost Rome. And so I am now delighted to introduce Ms. Absmara Ulloa. Mara is a computer science major. She's in her senior year at Northeastern, and she will graduate in August. Mara is a McNair Scholar, which is a prestigious program that prepares students for doctoral studies through involvement in research and other scholarly activities. And I definitely don't want to give away the incredible journey that she's been on while at Northeastern, but suffice it to say that Mara was named NEIU's 2020 Lincoln Academy Student Laureate. And this distinction honors one graduating senior from each Illinois state university who's demonstrated leadership and service contributions on campus and beyond. We're delighted to have her with us this evening. Mara Ulloa, welcome to the Fireside.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to the chat. I'm very happy to be here.
Absolutely. And so I'm so pleased we have this interactive format. Can you take us back to the beginning? So tell us what brought you to Northeastern?
Yeah, sure. So I completed my Associate of Arts degree at City Colleges of Chicago. I went to just about all of them. And once I graduated, I received the Dream.us scholarship. This scholarship partners with universities across the nation, like NEIU, that have a track record of serving low-income first-generation students, particularly undocumented students. So through the scholarship, I got to meet Luvia Moreno. She is the Director of Undocumented Students at NEIU. And I'm proud to say that not all universities have someone like Luvia. Luya is very special, and she is also the advisor for my scholarship. So when I transferred to NEIU, I also transferred because of the computer science department that we have here. I've only been here for 2 years, but the faculty in the department are always looking for the best resources, how to connect their students with internships. One example of that is all incoming freshmen or some transfer students get to be part of the NEIU Google Summer Bridge program prior to starting their first semester at NEIU, and that prepares them to start off stronger.
Very good. That's so much. I'm curious if you can think back through your time here, right? You're graduating in August. If you could pick up one experience that has stood out for you while at Northeastern, I would love to hear, what was a significant moment for you?
I have so many to share. I am part of so many clubs and career development and community building activities on campus that we currently do virtually. I get to be part of the Computer Science Society as the president. I get to be part of SACNAS and do research. I get to be part of the McNair Scholars Program and prepare for grad school. And I get to be part of a sorority. But I think for me, one that stands out is getting to work with my peers. I purely for programming 1 and 2 courses. So those are courses I took maybe a semester or 2 ago. And getting to work with someone who might be struggling with some programming problem and being able to walk them through it and see that moment of insight, of discovery, of that aha moment play like across their face and know that I was part of that, that has been definitely the best experience.
That's fantastic. I mean, and our peer mentors are just outstanding students. It's lovely to see, from student to student, that aha moments that happen every day, right? I wonder if you could talk a little bit about your research and maybe what you want to do with that in the future.
So my first research experience happened during my first semester at NEIU. I worked with the Student Center for Science Engagement, the center at school that provides internships for students over summer. And I got to apply machine learning algorithms to extracting text from images and then from social media and classifying that text as bullying or not. And that brought the classroom out into the real world for me and showed me what I could do with what I was learning at school. I presented that work at national conferences and at the student symposium, research symposium at NEIU. But more recently, this summer, throughout the pandemic, I got to intern virtually with the National Center for Atmospheric Research, where I got to be part of designing a kiosk application for their lab in Boulder and Wyoming that their visitors will get to interact with and learn about weather screens. That was also a really rewarding experience. And I also got to present that work at the UCLA National Conference and some other conferences too.
That's incredible. That is a very full set of experiences, my goodness. But it's incredibly exciting. We look forward to following what happens for you in a graduate program and beyond. Okay, so you had mentioned Luvia Moreno, of course, our director of the Undocumented Student Center. Are there other folks who might have helped you along the way? I was curious if you could talk about faculty or other interactions.
For sure. In the computer science department, I've had great support, especially from Professor Kari Sachava. He was my first programming professor. And I also met Dr. Rachel Trana. She's been there for everything. I basically stuck them with my list of questions that I have about internships, my resume, where do I go after this? They've been very helpful. And just everyone at the Student Center for Science Engagement has been amazing.
That's fantastic. So can you give us, thank you for all of this. Can you give us a preview into what happens after graduation?
Yes. So I recently accepted an offer of admission to the computer science PhD program at Northwestern. And I'm going to graduate this summer and then start there in September. And I'm going to be able to merge what I've learned as an undergrad computer scientist with other fields like preventive medicine and learning sciences and get to develop technology that benefits people and can tackle real world problems through interdisciplinary research.
That's incredible. Well, and the world is going to welcome the knowledge that you helped share, right? I mean, this is actionable. And so we really look forward to following you once you are an alumnus of NEIU and staying in touch and celebrating your experiences along the way. So, Mara, thank you so much for joining us for the fireside. And I think with that, we'll turn it over to President Gibson.
Thank you, Lisa. And once again, I want to publicly give my congratulations to Asmara. I mean, that is just so wonderful. So we're so very, very proud of you. So I want to end with a few ways in which you can assist us. So first of all, it is important that we continue to network. So we ask you to be doers and donors and door openers for our students. We seek connections to individuals and organizations to support our students and to support our faculty. If you can help us secure a meeting or bring a proposal to the top of the pile, please do so. Networking is so important. Internships. Internship experiences really are critical to and for our students. Please, please, please connect us with opportunities that you may be aware of. Mentoring our students. The Alumni Association launched an online mentoring program last fall, and we look forward to continuing this program. If you are in a position to make hiring decisions, then hire NEIU, please. Golden Eagle alumni, help our new graduates to secure that first job or to continue with their careers. I want to thank each of you for your philanthropic support. I ask you now to please consider an annual gift commitment. Philanthropy plays a big role in student success. So I ask you today to consider where you might make an impact. Our priority funds are the Student Emergency Fund, the General Scholarship Fund, the George Floyd Social Justice Scholarship Fund, and the Leader Fund. This is our unrestricted fund. You can learn more and you can make a gift at neiu.edu/give. Finally, I'd like to invite you to join us for some events. April 22nd is Proud to be NEIU Day. Wear your blue and gold, make a gift to the fund of your choice, and share your story on our University Spirit Day. Are you a golfer? Please join us in early August for the 49th annual Chuck Kane Scholarship Golf event. And even if you're not a golfer, come on out and meet and talk with some alumni and faculty staff at NEIU. The 2021 Golden Gala will be held on October 16. Last year, we exceeded our $100,000 fundraising goal and raised $127,000 in support of our students. This October, we'll have a hybrid event with a small group of in-person attendees and many, many more tuning in virtually across the country. I want to thank you again for your support and for being ambassadors for NEIU. And now we have a little time left for our Q&A, and I'll turn it over to Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Demkowski. I'm the Director of Individual Giving, and I'm very glad to be here this evening and to moderate the Q&A portion of the program. Thank you to those in attendance who submitted your questions in advance. We've been able to touch on some of those during the course of the program, but still have a few that we're going to go through. And some of the questions that have been submitted are consistent with that. So we'll go ahead, and if anyone has any last minute questions, feel free, but we will go ahead with this first question. I think this is both for the provost and the president. Basically, our submission wants to know, what are we trying to do to really return normalcy to the students who will be on campus, and also for the nest? I know we talked about testing and all of that, but just to try to make it feel back to normal.
Yes, well, let me, I'll just say briefly, and then I'll turn it over to the provost. But I do want everyone to know that the health and safety of our students, faculty, and staff is a top priority. We are planning a number of safe special events for our students as they return to campus. As the provost said earlier, everyone is very, very anxious to get back to campus, meet with their friends, and especially meet with their faculty face to face, and our staff. So the classes, they will have their face-to-face classes. We will have events that are being planned out by our Division of Student Affairs to also welcome our students back safely.
There's not much I will add other than we're going to offer as many face-to-face classes as, per our capacity. Right now, the CDC is recommending that we do 3 feet spacing. Remember, it was 6 feet. So we're getting there. So we're going to practice those recommendations, as well as markings and having rooms cleaned regularly. And facilities has spent a great deal of time preparing rooms for instruction and so on. So we're prepared, and we're all very eager to return as close to normalcy as we possibly can get.
Wonderful. Thank you both for that answer. One of the pre-submitted questions that was the most popular was, how large a role will virtual classroom education play in the future at Northeastern once in-person classes do resume?
One of the things that I think I may have mentioned in my earlier remarks, I've charged the deans with creating at least one online program, because the rationale is that families, students, faculty, instructors have almost become used to remote. And so in order to pivot, and also the other piece is to attract, I think it's a kind of untapped student population, and that's our adult learners. We're going to be much more intentional moving ahead and better serving our adult learners. So yes, we are planning to have to increase our online. And I should point, one last point, Lisa, pre-pandemic, we had over 234 online classes. Now, the challenge is to have those in one specific program so a person can actually have a certificate or degree by enrolling in those courses.
Thank you, Dr. Rome. A related question that was submitted was, in light of the pandemic, is NEIU planning to expand course offerings in public health and social services?
For Provost, you got to find some president questions, Lisa. So as I mentioned, we are in the process of looking for a founder and director of a nursing program. And so if any of you out there have no good talents, please send them our way. So that's going to be huge, because that's going to open the door to other health related areas.
Thank you. I do think this next question would be for the president. Given the anemic state budget and the eventual return to the classrooms, what does the capital budget look like? You mentioned the education building, but for other new projects and renovations.
Yeah, so I do want to just reinforce that the education building is our #1 priority. And I do feel that, as I said, that we are shovel ready. So once the Capital Development Board gives its okay, then we're ready to start that project. We would, let me just mention one of the other projects that is on our list is a new science building. We are in desperate need of a science building. The one that we have does not have the state-of-the-art labs and technology that we would love to have. And so that is also a priority for us. But we are certainly focusing all of our attention right now on our education building.
Thank you. We did have a new question come in regarding enrollment and just asking for some specific detail in terms of the enrollment decline that you had mentioned and what specifically you're doing to address that.
Yeah, so we have been experiencing an enrollment decline. And I guess I must say that we're not the only university in Illinois that is experiencing that decline. But I mentioned a few initiatives a little earlier that are designed to address that decline. We've been able to provide our students with additional support that has come from, as I said earlier, the CARES Act funding, the GEARS Act funding. And we are within days of announcing a new scholarship that we will use our American Rescue Fund. This last legislation that was passed. I can't reveal that scholarship tonight, but we're very, very close, and it's going to be so exciting when we announce the scholarship. It will be for our first-time full-time freshmen, and we're hoping also our transfer students, our new transfer students. So please stay tuned, but we really feel that this new scholarship is going to be make a dramatic impact for our fall 21 enrollments. And let me just also give a final plug here for contributing to our scholarships, because we know that is another way that we can increase our enrollments. As I said earlier, when our students don't have to work 3 jobs, work 2 jobs, those scholarship dollars are so very, very important.
Thank you. Another question that had been pre-submitted was, what is the university doing to engage and sustain the diversity of its faculty and staff?
May I just add a little bit more to enrollment, and I'll address the diversity of faculty and staff. We also had a consultant come in and really look at our entire enrollment area, and they put together a very extensive and detailed report, which we have been discussing and are beginning to implement. So we have gathered our toolbox of things we need to really be very intentional about enrollment. Similarly, fortunately, we have a group of faculty and staff on campus that's providing training throughout campus for staff and faculty on hiring processes. What are the best practices in targeting resources that are geared towards attracting more diverse faculty. So last semester, we spent entire day with a number of workshops with the folks being trained about how to go about things as we take for granted, for example, like what should comprise the interview questions and so on, to make sure that we are very sensitive, culturally sensitive and cognizant about really painting a picture of NEIU that is conducive to diversity and retain folks who are from underrepresented groups and so on. So we're very excited about that. That group has met with my deans, and there's a upcoming meeting this April to continue. And I'm happy to say we have about 12 hirings this year. And so far, the letters of offers that have been extended, and I think we've done about 5, are all been to faculty of color. So I'm very happy to announce that as well.
Thank you. Yes, and we are approaching 6 o'clock, so we're going to have one more question, and this question is directed to Mara. What is one piece of advice that you would give to incoming students?
I would definitely say getting involved in campus was what helped me a lot. It grants you the resources that you need to do well academically and just in general, make great friends and build community. But also just enjoy it. As everyone in the call probably knows, it goes by way too fast.
Thank you, Absmara. And just so you know that multiple people have congratulated you via the chat function. They're very impressed with you. And again, we're all—
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, so you're such a great success story. And we're all so glad that you would take the time today to let us, that you would share that story with us.
And I want to go ahead and chime in here. Thank you, Mara. Thank you, Dr. Gibson. Thank you, Dr. Rome. And thank you all of you who have participated this evening. We are grateful for your time. And so in closing, we are excited to share with you a short video. As Dr. Gibson described, breaking barriers is what we do every single day. And I think that speaks to all disciplines, all people who care about and know about the mission of NEIU. And so I want to thank you, everyone who is tuned in this evening, for helping break barriers with us. So we'll leave you with a short video. Thank you again for joining us.
At Northeastern Illinois University, we know that no one achieves their goals alone. It takes perseverance, determination, and a chance to prove our circumstances may shape us, but they don't define us. We're dedicated to helping you succeed in and out of the classroom, because that's our mission, and our mission is you. Together, we break barriers.